across the nation and around the clock. From California to Michigan and along the East Coast, college campuses erupting in protest. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators demanding action, refusing to back down.
No more money for Israel's crime! Like this, we will not stop, we will not rest!
As a string of outsiders try to join the conversation, tonight we hear from the students themselves.
For those unaware, these are the protests that are taking place at college campuses and universities right now about the Gaza situation. In particular, what's going on with Israel, or IDF, if that's what you want to call it, and Palestinian people, particularly against Hamas. Now, how all this is unfolding, whatever you may feel, that's not what I'm trying to get into. What I want to take a look at first and foremost is what's going on with the protests and how that's actually being handled, especially now that there's pushback. Let's take a look.
We're at Columbia University, the epicenter of the demonstrations that helped spark nationwide unrest.
The voices in Gaza are routinely massacred. On top of that, we have millions of Gazans within the Gaza Strip who are also displaced, starving day in and day out.
As tensions rose dramatically, Jewish students say they've experienced harassment and anti-Semitism. Some say they no longer feel safe on campus.
At this point is not about free speech anymore because it has crossed the line into direct harassment and assault. My friends had water thrown in their faces. One of my friends had his Israeli flag ripped out of his hands, and people were throwing hard objects at him, including hitting him in the face and in the chest.
To what extent is this about free speech versus disrupting classes?
The president of the university changed all classes to Zoom. Why should somebody like me, who is not disrupting anything, not be able to go to class because people in there want to do class via Zoom from inside of their tents? To me, that is totally absurd.
Protests first began on campuses after the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, where roughly 1,200 were killed and 250 were taken hostage, according to the IDF. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 34,000 Palestinians, according to the Hamas-run health ministry.
We're here for Palestine. This is not about us. This is not about the students. This is not about the college. This is about something so much more.
In December, the presidents of Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania faced a congressional grilling on anti-Semitism. It led to their resignations. And just last week, Columbia University's president, Minouche Shafik, was also called to testify.
Anti-Semitism has no place on our campus, and I am personally committed to doing everything I can to confront it directly.
The next day, the NYPD were called in to clear out the encampment built by protesters on Columbia's campus. Administrators say the students were breaking university rules. 100 people were arrested and charged with trespassing, including junior Sarah Boris, who is Jewish.
What went through your head when you were arrested?
It was a scary moment when the riot cops are coming into your college campus and putting you in zip ties. But I think that I knew these risks. I knew that that was the risk of the action I was taking.
Sarah was later suspended and lost access to campus, classes, and her dorm. But she says she has no regrets.
What I was taught as a Jew growing up is completely against the actions that you're seeing in Gaza at the hands of the IDF. You're seeing hospitals being destroyed. And that's just completely against everything I was taught, the value of human life as a Jewish person.
What she's just said right there would not be a spicy take or a hot take by our standards. We were to say that. But compare that to the rhetoric that has actually come out of the Israeli government, those far-right types, the nationalists. They are very much against Palestinians in general, and have even compared them to, animals that need to be, exterminated. So for her to have this belief, put it out there, and to stand by it, especially with the repercussions that she just faced, shout out to her, because not a lot of people would actually go through with their convictions, their so-called beliefs, once there's any pushback on them, and especially the threat of a repercussion. So for that, hey, shout out to you. And let's get back into it. But if you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for this video and for other content like it. All right. Thank you. Let's get back into it.
Soon after those arrests, the encampment came back stronger.
Repression breeds more resistance. The more that they repress us, the more that we will resist, and the more that our demands become truer and truer.
Yazoun El Moussa is a Palestinian-American dental student. He's been protesting on campus since October.
We've also had comments come at us that are very racist, that are very
Islamophobic.
hate-filled, Islamophobic, anti-Palestinian. And our goal is to really to move past that, to understand that our values to free Palestine is in line with anti-Semitism. We've made our demands very clear and we haven't budged. We asked for financial transparency from all of Colombia's investments. We asked full divestment from all of the profiting that Colombia gets within the bombing within the Gaza Strip, and amnesty for all the students who spoke up.
What happens if there's a stalemate?
We stand steadfast. If anything, Palestinians have taught us, it's steadfast within our land. And our people know that. Every single protester knows that. And we will not move. We will not budge.
Give me a sense of just how delicate that dance is that the university president has to deal with.
They're juggling students, they're juggling parents, alumni, donors, politicians, these outside actors, even residents of the community who all have stakes in this issue. I think they're trying to make choices.
I'm sorry. What was that? Just not trying to take away from a serious topic here, but why are you talking like that? What's choices? Just talk normal, all right? You don't need to emphasize every single word or make it extra, all right? I'm a student, though. So anyone ever wonders where I got it from, here it is. Choices.
As to what do you prioritize here? And that's an incredibly almost impossible answer.
Isabella Ramirez is the editor-in-chief of the student-run newspaper, the Columbia Daily Spectator.
Where have you seen the line between free speech and hate speech?
That line, people draw in different places, and I think that's also part of the issue. Some people say, no, this chant does not mean that. And other people say, well, this chant makes me deeply feel unsafe and uncomfortable.
Sophomore Alicia Baker is a Middle Eastern history major who speaks out in op-eds in the school paper.
So for 6.5 months, we've been calling out the threatening rhetoric and saying, this is anti-Semitic. And we've been told, well, you're interpreting it wrong. And to me, that was an anti-Semitic double standard, too. Why are Jews the only minority group that when we call out threats against us, we're told that we're interpreting it wrong?
Back in January, Columbia student protester Kaimani James live-streamed anti-Semitic comments.
Be grateful that I'm not just going out and murdering Zionists.
Whoa there, sweetness. Who are you trying to murder? All right. What are you going to do? Are you going to just run up on someone, read them, and tell them how they're not fashionable enough for your taste? Like, who are you kidding here? You're no threat to no one. You're a jackass at most. And going back to the previous student, the Jewish student, stop doing that. I can't stand that persecution, oppression Olympics bullshit. Trying to see who has it worse. All right. You're the only group, really, that it gets told something and other folks are misinterpreting or are trying to put you in a box. No, you're not. All right. It can't stand that garbage. It's like every single time folks like this, they're like having a competition, a one-off of whose persecution is worse. It's like going back right there to fashion here. It's like they're looking at other people's persecution and be like, no, my persecution is designer. You ain't got it like this. Shut the hell up. All right. That's not how it works. If you don't understand, keep your mouth shut and just state how you feel, what you think to a certain degree. But don't try and make yourself like some special kind of victim. All right. You're not. Shut up.
Today, university officials announcing they're barring him from campus. James issued a statement saying, in part, what I said was wrong. Every member of our community deserves to feel safe without qualification. Protest organizers distancing themselves from James.
He apologized and he asked for space to reflect and learn and grow, and that he will step away from being press spokesperson.
When you have people chanting, bomb Tel Aviv, and saying that they're Hamas, I don't think that's activism.
Junior Chaya Dresnik says she and her friends have been the targets of anti-Semitic vitriol.
We went to observe a protest that was going on, and they started targeting their chants towards us. They ended it off with, October 7th will be every day for you guys.
I'm gonna do just like they did all the soldiers October 7th. Good. You see how many soldiers we got? Yo, y'all got smoked. Y'all got smoked, bro. You about to be in a pack with them.
Who the fuck is this punk right here? What do you mean we? What soldiers you got? You haven't done shit. You're not about shit. And swear to God, the moment you would be put in that situation where October 7th is happening, or you actually need to take up arms yourself, you would shit yourself within the first minute. You'd be running scared. Don't act tough now, especially behind the mask, all right? Cut that shit out. I can't stand punks like that. You're a punk. Everyone who thinks like you is a punk. That's some little bastards that need to just shut the hell up. Go learn something useful and be useful in your life, all right? You're nothing. All right, shut the hell up. Moving on to something more important there. I think that's 72nd Street over in New York City, because I know that falafel stand, and shout out to those falafels because they have held me down more than a few times. All right, at least they're useful. Bastard.
Involved in the protests, the Columbia University Apartheid Divest said in a statement, "Our movement is united in valuing every human life."
We are against all forms of bigotry. We do not stand for that. We allow every single person into our camp. We do not reject people based on ethnicity, based on religion. We ask that everyone respects those community guidelines, to be respectful to the people around them.
Student activism on colleges is stitched into the fabric of American history, from civil rights protests in the 1960s to the anti-Vietnam War unrest that left 4 people dead at Kent State University at the hands of the Ohio National Guard. With the weight of history on their shoulders, Columbia students and administrators continue to negotiate, with the countdown to commencement less than 3 weeks away.
All right, so that's the video, but going back to that last piece, what is there to negotiate? The college campuses, the universities, they have a right to kick these people out. You're disrupting life for everyone else. You are taking up space. You're trespassing. There is nothing that they truly actually need to negotiate. So when they call in the police or whoever they need to, security, to remove you, they are doing the right thing. That is, again, not choosing sides as to whether you are protesting something that you should be protesting. It's how you're going about it. Again, let's go back to like how I stated, you are creating more enemies than you need and honestly can even take on. All right. You're protesting who again exactly here? Go to your state, maybe even local, but again, it's really the federal government you should be protesting because they actually have some involvement in what you're protesting against. And they can actually do something. But that's not convenient, okay? You would need to get your asses up, mobilize, and actually put in some effort instead of just sitting around in a tent watching Netflix and calling that a protest. Like, nah, this ain't it. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if there's any other topics that you want covered or maybe something like this that maybe I missed out on. But I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.